All right, Peter, we're back.
Here we are. Yep.
We're in a new location today.
We got kicked out of our old one.
We got kicked out. Poor scheduling on our part. So we got relocated to a conference room somewhere in the building.
We're like scavengers.
Yeah.
It's running around.
It's a whole bunch of people walking by being like, look
Find
at
a
these
place.
two morons like in there. But,
I mean, the real issue is we clearly see too many people.
Yep.
Yeah. And so we just have no home for this.
That's the problem.
We're running a business trying to help people with their overall physical health. And what we're really trying to do is do a podcast.
Right.
And it's pesky patience.
Yeah. They're in our way. They're ruining our fun.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try to show something to the camera here because it's on my phone. So I'm going to show it to the camera.
Okay.
Tell me if you can see it.
Yeah. I see that.
What is that?
It says, welcome back, balloon, excited stuff.
Yeah.
Let's quickly get you back, set back up and back on track with Lose It.
Do you want to know what I see?
When you look at that?
When I look at that?
You look at a very excited app that wants you to get back on track.
No, I look at an app that's shaming me. It says, what's up, loser? Welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Here's your one red balloon.
Maybe you need a little bit of shaming.
It was awful. So I restarted Lose It as we discussed. I'm 3 days in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like down 4 pounds of bloat.
It's weird. Weird how that works. You're such a loser.
But yeah, so that's how it's going. But I told you that's what that stupid thing was going to do.
Peter, I've been stuck at 220 for months. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that candy drawer that you've been talking so much about with your clients as of late. Candy drawer has been coming up a bit more.
You don't have one of those?
I don't have one.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't even
You're the outlier.
No, I'm not.
I guarantee.
I guarantee you if you have 100 people in the room, less than 50 would have a candy drawer.
Huh.
I think so.
I think we should take a poll. That's gonna have to go out as a poll. Anyway, well, that's the update. I'm doing it. Oh, you know why I hate it a little less this time? Because I can talk to it. So I don't have to type everything.
It's more efficient.
And I don't have to scan all the barcodes. So one of the barriers in the past was, say I fell behind by a meal or two.
Yeah.
Right? You're busy throughout the day. You forget to do it. It would be a barrier to then have to think like, oh, okay, now I have to type in like 10 different things. You know what I mean? To catch back up. That was annoying to me. And so then I'd be like, oh, screw it. I'm just not going to do it today. Just do it again tomorrow. Wow. You know how that goes. You get out of the habit. So now when that happens, like before we came down here, for instance, like I've been with clients all day, but I've had some snacks throughout the day. I had a banana, had a couple mints, I had coffee, and a yogurt. And so right before I came down, I quickly pressed the app. It says, like, instead of like type it in, it says say it. And so you click that button, a little microphone-y thing opens up. And I just said those things. I said I had one small banana. And you have to be specific, but I said I had one small banana. I had 5 mints. I had 2 12-ounce coffees. I didn't put any here. We use a little like flavoring. We don't use something that has like calories. So I just left that out. Or if it does, it's minuscule.
It doesn't matter.
And then I said I had one Oikos, yogurt. And then it automatically just pushed that all in there for me. And so it's done. So it literally took me 2 seconds. It's way more efficient. And so I'm definitely more likely to do that and be more consistent with the app because they made it easier for me. It's like one less pain point,
Nice.
So,
and you have to be beholden to the number or else you tend to just like drift off, correct?
What do you mean?
From your health goals, right? So if you don't want to be a bloated 220 and you want
you could have left that part
to be a svelte 210, then if you don't track, you tend to drift.
For me, yeah. I'm not a good what is that called?
Maintainer.
Yeah, maintainer. It's just not my thing. So anyway, I'm doing it. So there you go. Have you started to read yet?
So I'm waiting for your list. So my excuse. So I have the apps downloaded.
You have the app. So you did your thing. You're waiting for me to give you the.
I'm just waiting for you to give me the books because like you're clearly the expert.
What are you interested in? I mean, I know generally what you're interested in, but what are you interested in?
I think at this point, I don't know. Let me get your advice on this. Should I have my downtime not be like productive? Like, should my downtime be?
No, I don't be. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You're still learning. You like to learn stuff, so you could still be productive like that.
I just wonder from like a stress perspective if like there is some intentional downtime that you should give your brain. Yeah. So that you're not constantly always on the thing.
I think when it comes to reading, if you're going to create a habit around it, it has to be things that you're genuinely interested in. Yeah. And if that just happens to be things that also are like this, there's nothing wrong with being totally committed to like the work. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not 100% sure on that.
Yeah. So one I would recommend right off the bat for you would be something called Deep Work by Cal Newport. I think you would really like that book. It talks a lot about how to identify the one thing and then really focus all of your attention on that one thing until it's done, and then moving, forward. There's more nuance and then to it than that. But a lot of people are easily distracted by, there's this idea that like being busy is being productive, and is like very, and this book presents it very different, right? There's a difference between being busy and being productive. Deep work kind of helps you figure out how to do that, and I think it's I love that book. I think it's really good.
Okay.
So that's good. It's on the lines of like the Atomic Habit type books, these like self-help productivity books, but like this is a different slant.
Okay, so send me that first.
So I think that would be a good one.
I mean, how long is an audiobook in general? Is it like 6 hours?
It's a great question.
It just depends.
Yeah, it depends on the obviously the length of the book. Usually a few hours. Could you imagine being the person that reads the audiobook?
That would seem boring unless you were the author.
Yeah.
If I created a book, I probably would want to read it. And in fact, like, let's put it this way: if I had an audience and I made a book, my audience would probably rather have me do the reading, even if I wasn't a professional.
Yeah.
Because it's me.
Right.
As opposed to like some random dude, like, hey, that's not the guy that said the words.
That's true. I can see that. Yeah. Okay, so I'll send you that, and then we'll go from there. All right, perfect. All right, today we're going to talk about how awesome lazy people are.
It seems like the anti.
Do you at all relate to being lazy? Like, would you describe yourself as a lazy person?
No, I have to engineer. This is where this question of should I use my downtime as productive or not? I have to engineer laziness into my life because it feels like my default is just to not stop.
Okay.
And so what I find, if I never stop, then I get overstressed and overworked. That there's a difference between the way my brain operates when I'm like on something, like on a task, and when I'm intentionally like not doing that, and I'm just allowed. I find that's helpful for me to reset.
Okay. Would you describe me as a lazy person?
No.
So I self-describe as a lazy person. So I'm inherently lazy, and I know this about myself.
By nature.
By nature.
I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
And so, I heard this concept not that long ago. I actually heard a quote, and the quote was something that Bill Gates had said. And he famously said he'd rather hire a lazy person to do a hard job because they find the easiest way to do it.
Oh, that's so funny.
Right. and as you know, I read a lot of books and I listen to a lot of podcasts, especially about founders, people who have founded great companies, because I find them really fascinating, interesting. I like to learn little bits from them. Many, many of them describe themselves as lazy.
That's weird.
In a good light, like in like not as like I'm a loser, lazy kind of thing. And they view it as a positive thing. And because of that quote from Bill Gates, the same exact concept. And I think of when I heard that, I go, oh, that's me. It's basically this idea that lazy people have a way to, it doesn't mean you're not productive. Like I think I'm a pretty productive person. I do a lot of things, right? But I find systems and ways to do that are really efficient. To allow me to do a lot
with less work,
so I can get back to being lazy.
Oh, you're so funny.
Right?
So you just want to be as fast as possible?
Yeah, but I still want it to be good. I don't like to sacrifice quality.
Yeah, so that's the difference. I feel like inherently lazy people, well, my stereotype of inherently lazy people is like they do a half-assed job. Like they just want to get it done. You check the box, you do the thing,
right,
and then it's done. So why do you think that you're different? Why do you think that you will go the extra mile? Because your personality, as far as I've known you, is to like, it's never really done. It's always just an iteration of improvement.
Yeah.
So how do you parse that with being lazy and having that personality trait as well?
Right. So I think the person you're describing is a person who's maybe lazy and also doesn't care, right? Or maybe is doing a thing that they don't want to be doing. Well, therefore, they're just like checking the box, right? So for me, it's the things I typically spend my time on at this point in my life are things that I really like care about. So this job, for instance, is one of those things, right? So when we work on things like the podcast, or we're working on things for the business, I give a shit about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I want to spend, more energy than necessary to get it done and get it done
the laziness still is there, but you care, so you're still going to make sure it's done well. You just don't want to do more work than you have.
Yeah. So like the quality still matters to me, right? And getting it done still matters to me. Like I'm not lazy in the sense that like, I'm just not going to do it. I don't care if Peter wants me to do a thing. I'm not doing it, right? Like I still want to be, like I'm still a driven person, right? I like to, for things to go well, I want to help grow. In this case, I want to help grow the company. I want to have success. I want to do all of the things that we've set our goals to do. I still view myself as that. However, my instinct is to like, I could sit on the couch for hours and love,
be happy about that.
Totally be happy doing that. Whereas like you could not, right?
That's
and
really
so,
tough.
but I still know and want to do all those other things. And so what I'm really, really good at, I think, is creating systems that allow me, like for instance, your instinct is to create spreadsheets for things, right? That's your go-to. Like when you want to track something or do something or whatever, like you default historically, that's the system that would work. That's what people did. And when I see a spreadsheet, I see like extra work that's probably not going to work over the long haul. And I try to find like a way like to get rid of that thing that is like creating extra work, because I just don't believe that's, workarounds, things like that. Over the course of time, that's more energy and time than I want to give to that. And so I try to find like, okay, there's got to be a better way. My mind always goes to, there has to be a better way to accomplish this task more efficiently and quickly. And I think it goes to my evolutionary dominance.
You have evolutionary dominance?
I think as humans, we had to figure out how to survive.
I thought you meant you are evolutionarily dominant.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm as a dominant human.
Superior.
But do you think there's any credibility to that concept of like we as a species were inherently lazy? Because, for many, many millennia, we had to conserve energy, that whole thing. Or do you think that's totally different than this?
No, I think in our evolutionary makeup, if you kind of, again, look back and you say, well, what were we like, 100,000 years ago before technology? There's a lot of like really high activity for a very small percentage every day. And then a lot of like energy conservation for the rest of it. So probably. I mean, if the historians are true, if the anthropologists are true, there's a lot of laying around and then a lot of high activity. And then, so it would make sense that a certain percentage of us would have that in us. Yeah.
Now let me try to convince you that you're lazy. Can I do it? Can you like, play along?
Yes, that's certainly not my identity, but I'm open to new ideas.
Yeah. So play along. Okay. I'm going to give you 4 characteristics of lazy people from my research. Okay. And you tell me if you just do these things.
If I'm any one of the 4.
If you're any of these things or do these particular things. So lazy people build systems. Do you build systems?
Not as well as you, but I try to.
You try to. Your instinct is to try to build systems. We talk about it all the time, right? Okay. Number 2, lazy people remove friction. So I'll give you some examples. They'll lay out their like gym clothes or their clothes for the day before, like the night before, right? They have the same breakfast every single day. They simplify their routines.
I certainly simplify a lot of things. Like I make them routine for sure.
Give me some examples of that.
So I just like my days look very similar because I've designed my days to be the thing that like facilitates my goals. So in the end, if like I'm used to the patterns of behavior, like, so for instance, my breakfast is always the same. I wake up at the same time every morning, make the same breakfast. It's the same routine in the morning.
Go to bed at the same time.
Go to bed at the same time. It's very automatic
for
me, like the coming. So in that way, I crave routine. I don't know if I've ever thought of routine as being lazy.
No, this isn't, you get you're just answering the question.
I see.
You're just answering the question. So you do all of those things. You create these routines. You simplify your thing so that same thing, you food prep every week on the same day, go to bed at the same time. You do the same things before, but you have you're one of the more routine-based guys that I know, actually. So, okay. So number 3, lazy people value leverage.
Define leverage.
So some examples, they'd rather build once, repeat forever. So you build a system and repeat it forever. So they prefer, this one says, I don't know where this came from, they prefer strength training 3 times a week over daily cardio. I was like, well,
where'd that come from?
It's so weird, but it's like you. Yeah.
I'm the laziest person I
know. So they like durable capability rather than hacks, like that kind of things, right? Like they like to build
because hacks make more work in the long run.
Correct.
Yeah, like
so they're looking for the
nonsense.
thing that is sustainable and durable over time.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So that's, and then the last one is lazy people avoid drama.
Why would that be? I mean, I certainly
it's too much energy.
Drama.
It's like energy. It's like you're giving energy to something. You know how much energy goes into like a drama situation, like getting involved. Like
nonsensical.
You and I talk about it all the time. Like we completely stay out of like the nonsense all of the time.
Yeah, I'm
not interested in that because it's energy. So therefore, Peter,
I guess I'm lazy.
There are 4 things.
I feel like I'm trapped. You did this on purpose because you knew that the end of this was going to be I would have to define myself as lazy. You stupid ass. This is rude.
So based off of my research, which is diligent,
I'm sure.
Right?
Yeah. ChatGPT.
There was 4 traits of a lazy person, or 4 things, characteristics, and you match all 4. So what do you have to say for yourself? Tell the people.
I think lazy is a pejorative. So we all, when we think of lazy, we think of like, there's a certain like trope that you think of as a human being. I don't think that's the types of lazy people that you're talking about.
Correct.
But I guess, whatever, fine. If you want to define me as lazy according to this criteria, well, this is what you do.
It's the greatest show of all time. I'm so happy people are going to really enjoy this. So I would agree. So I think the problem with the word lazy is that it's often used as like a negative.
We associate it with a dude in his basement with Cheetos on his chest playing video games, right?
And so the downside of lazy, and again, just going back to research. So if you allow comfort to compound, right? So being on your couch for a couple hours turns into weeks of doing nothing, right? That's obviously bad, right? Like even if you build great systems and you do all this stuff, right?
Then you're depressed and your body's going to fall apart.
Right. You skip 1 workout, that turns into skipping 3. Like, you know what I mean? So there is a downside to this sort of like, you have to, so someone like me, for instance, who I know, and I'm obviously joking about you, you certainly meet some of those criteria, but your baseline is certainly not lazy. Although you have some characteristics.
I have some characteristics of lazy people. What do you think about this? And I'll let you finish. So, and I actually don't think this is a good thing. Sometimes it serves me. So I tend to grind at an activity that's new to me because I want to like really experience it and learn a lot about it. But I know that also takes a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to do that because I believe on the back end of it, I'm going to be much better at it than like if I took shortcuts, for instance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I know that it takes a lot of time. There's only so much time in this world. So sometimes I think I direct it at areas that are inefficient for my time to be spent on, like tasks, for instance.
Yeah.
I'll just like, because like, as a business owner now, there's a bazillion things to do forever.
Right.
And I never not have something to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just have to like who can do this better?
Yeah.
And what can I give up as opposed to just like, grind into it?
Yeah.
So I'm working on that.
That's
part.
sort of the busy culture, right?
Yeah, I hate that.
A lot of people are like, and then a lot of people wear that as a badge of honor.
Yeah, I do not.
Yeah, I'm busy. I'm working 24 hours. Like that's bad. I actually, as a lazy person, I look at that and say, wow, what a waste of energy. Yeah.
Like it's gonna kill you too.
It's gonna grind you down. You're gonna burn out. Yeah, you're gonna. And I look at that and say, okay, there's ways for that to be better, right? There are ways for you to not grind yourself until you're exhausted and burnt out and all of those things. And I think as a person who self-defines as lazy, like I would look at all of those things and say, well, what is the most efficient, quickest way to get these things done? Is it me? Is it somebody else? Is there a way to batch these things? Is there a way to automate it? There's so much automation in the world today. Is there a robot that can do it for me? Are these things good? Something as simple as like reading your emails. I mean, you can train ChatGPT to read and summarize all of your emails and prioritize them for you, right? Or other agents, AI agents, So now like that doesn't have to be this thing that takes, a whole bunch of your time. And so, I saw a quote or a statement when I was doing this that said, basically laziness without structure equals decay, right? So I think my version of laziness has structure.
A lot of structure.
Right. And I think for people like me, there's a lot of, I would, use high achiever, like patting myself on the back, but I would consider myself a relatively high achiever in terms of the amount of things that I can get done and still have time for laziness.
In a given day.
In any given day, right? But I have to constantly fight against the urge to
do nothing.
Right. So there is that is hard for me at times. Like, yesterday I drove home and I was supposed to go from here straight to the gym, right? That was the plan. Halfway to home, I was like, or I can just go eat lunch because that would be great because Caden had a game was supposed to have a game.
So you went to ground school?
So I was thinking, well, no, the game was away, but I was like, well, I'll just go eat lunch and let Bella out, and then then I'll go to the game. And is there really enough time? Meanwhile, the game wasn't until like 5. I had plenty of time. Yeah. But in my head, I had all, my laziness was taking over. So I went home, and then his game got canceled. So now I had this like whole thing. I was like, oh shit. Okay. You lazy.
Yeah, you got to go.
Yeah. Like now I had I literally had nothing. Yep. It was say, I don't know, 1 o'clock or something.
Yep.
And I had nothing for the rest of the day. I go to bed at 9, I had 8 hours. This sounds probably pathetic to some people. Like, what a loser. He's got nothing. So I was like, now I have like no excuse, So then a friend of mine, I was talking to her on the phone, and she was like, oh, I'm going over to the Groton school because where our kids go to school. Because the girls' hockey team has a game, and it's their senior night. And I was like, oh, I should go to that.
Instead of going to the gym.
Go to that instead of go to the gym, because I would rather go to that. In the end, I ended up going to the gym. Yeah. You're like on my shoulders being like, stop being lazy.
Stop being a bitch.
But that's an example of where like my laziness, my instinct was sort of like, oh, okay, I can kind of I can either sit here and do nothing, but I felt guilty for that. Mm-hmm. So then I was trying to find other things that maybe were like better choices than the thing that was like the hard thing, for me.
This is normal for you.
This is normal. Process. It's an everyday struggle. Yeah. Everyday struggle. When it comes to like that kind of stuff. Now, if it's like a new project at work or something like that, that I'm super excited about, like starting, like I worked on that.
Really?
I worked on like a new newsletter that we're going to be doing.
Yeah. And when you started
so easy.
The podcast thing, you just like hammered it for like a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can work hours and hours and hours on that stuff, but most of it's like happening on my couch. So I like that. So, but I do like the concept of laziness, like with structure, which I think is what my life is. Like I create a lot of structure around my laziness.
So if we were to define it for moving forward, it would be trying to find the most efficient path to get something done so that you can still be productive and you still get to like relax. Yep. I think that's a really healthy version, because then you still get to live your life, you still get to be productive in your life, but then you also, I honestly believe like this chronic like work culture stress is killing everybody. Yeah. And I think that if you can get out of that and you can learn to actually intentionally relax, which I've been trying to do more, I make myself sit on the couch, and like it was my son Evan, he enjoys watching a show or whatever. Yeah, I'll sit on the couch and watch a show with him.
You even gone out to a couple of dinners recently.
I'm telling you, I've been trying to intentionally pull back so that I can let my brain relax a little bit, and I think it's helpful.
I think it is helpful, and I think that for all of us, there's probably people who are a lot like you, and then there's people who are a lot like me, and then there's like the middle ground, right? Like trying to figure out like where that is, So for me, in order to not let the laziness win, right, I have to remove decisions, like pre-commit to things, and build an identity around like, okay, I am the type of person that like that accomplishes these things. Like I'm known for being reliable and motivated and driven, and that's what people know me as, even though my personality is something totally different in terms of what I really kind of want to do. Like I just want to conserve energy and survive for the human race.
Yeah.
But so I have to create all those systems. So I think just speaking to people out there who are like me and maybe struggle with that, I think some of the strategies around that are what we just talked about, right? Like, having systems in place that allow you to achieve things on a for instance, every night I go through the same process. Like I actually lay out all of my stuff for the next day. Like I go through the process of putting out whatever I'm going to wear the next day. I do all of that like ahead of time when I still have, like when I think about it in that moment, I'm up, I'm moving around. I'm like, I got to do this now, because it's actually a barrier the next day to starting my day if I hadn't already done that. Right. And that's hard for me. So I know for some people, like the thing with the gym and building habits around that can be a thing. Or food, pre-doing all of that stuff. And so I would say to overcome laziness, one needs systems.
Makes sense.
And if you
sure, no, I couldn't agree more with that. Otherwise you're just going to languish and everyone hates a do nothing.
So in the end, would you say that you agree that you're lazy? Because I think that's all I want.
Just to make you happy.
That's all I want to hear.
Everybody, I am lazy.
I think what I take away from it is that laziness isn't bad. Yeah. And that some people are just lazy and some people are maybe not. But like you can still be a productive member of society and get a lot done.
If you structure it right.
If you structure it right. So,
fine.
Very good.
Something I never thought I would agree to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lazy.
Here we go. This is what you do.
So lazy people are awesome. That's all I want.
Lazy people.
And Bill Gates said so. So
yeah.
So you can't argue with that.
All right, buddy.
All right. That is the pod.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.